Hello everyone and welcome back. If you watched part 1, you discovered the hidden origins of Christmas. But today, we're going deeper into the heart of it all. I'm about to share 5 of the most emotional, surprising, and powerful Christmas stories from history. We're talking about enemies becoming friends on a battlefield, a general risking everything on Christmas night, celebrations on summer beaches, and how the most vulnerable found hope during the darkest times. These stories prove that Christmas is more than traditions. It's about humanity at its best and most surprising. Get your tissues ready. Let's begin. Let's start with perhaps the most beautiful and heartbreaking Christmas story ever told, the Christmas Truce of 1914. During the first Christmas of World War I, in December 1914, something miraculous happened on certain sectors of the Western Front. Soldiers who had been killing each other for months suddenly stopped fighting. Testimonies report Christmas carols sung from one side, then answered from the other. German soldiers started singing Silent Night, and British soldiers recognized the melody and joined in. Imagine that moment, enemies singing the same song across a battlefield soaked in blood. It's almost unbelievable. Then something even more incredible happened. Soldiers started meeting in no man's land, that deadly space between trenches where thousands had died. They exchanged cigarettes, food, showed each other family photos, and even played impromptu football matches. Enemies became human beings again, if only for a few hours. This truce wasn't general or official. It remained local, and was sometimes frowned upon by high commands, who feared such fraternization would weaken fighting spirit. Officers threatened punishment for anyone participating, but the soldiers did it anyway because their humanity was stronger than orders. The Christmas Truce became one of the most powerful episodes in Christmas history, a symbol of peace and humanity breaking through even the most brutal conflict. But here's the heartbreaking part. After Christmas ended, the soldiers went back to killing each other. Some men who played football together on Christmas Day were shooting at each other days later. This story raises profound questions. If soldiers could see each other as human beings on Christmas, why couldn't they the rest of the year? What does it say about war, about humanity, about the power of Christmas to temporarily break through propaganda and hatred? The Christmas Truce of 1914 remains a bittersweet reminder that peace is possible, even if only for a moment. Now let's cross the Atlantic for a Christmas story that changed American history forever. On December 25th, 1776, during the American War of Independence, General George Washington prepared a daring strike rather than a traditional Christmas celebration. The American cause was desperate, morale was low, and defeat seemed inevitable. In the night, Washington crossed the Delaware River with approximately 2,400 soldiers to launch a surprise attack on Hessian troops stationed in Trenton. The Hessians were German mercenaries fighting for the British, and they definitely didn't expect an offensive in such extreme cold, and especially not right after Christmas. The operation was conducted in brutal weather conditions, freezing temperatures, ice flows in the river, snow, wind. Many soldiers didn't have proper boots or coats. The crossing was incredibly dangerous, and several men nearly drowned. But Washington knew this was their only chance. The surprise attack resulted in a major American victory. The Hessians were caught completely off guard, celebrating Christmas, and assuming no one would attack in such conditions. This victory became a crucial psychological turning point in the war, reviving hope in the American cause when everything seemed lost. The scene captured imagination forever. While much of the world celebrated Christmas with family, a future head of state took a decisive risk on an icy river on December 25th. Washington's Christmas crossing became legendary, immortalized in paintings and taught in every American history class. This story shows that Christmas has been the backdrop for pivotal historical moments, not just peaceful celebrations. Sometimes the most important actions happen when everyone else is celebrating. Washington's gamble on Christmas night, where desperation met determination. Now for something completely different and joyful. let's talk about Christmas in the Southern Hemisphere, where the holiday falls in the middle of summer. In Brazil, a majority Christian country located south of the equator, Christmas is celebrated in full summer heat. Celebrations mix Catholic liturgy, masses, living nativity scenes in some cities, and summer atmosphere. Light decorations, fireworks, street parties, sometimes on beaches. Imagine celebrating Christmas in 30-degree heat, wearing shorts and flip-flops, opening presents on the sand while waves crash nearby. Major cities like Rio or São Paulo largely adopt global Christmas symbols, while rural regions preserve more local traditions of songs and processions. Brazilian Christmas includes European-influenced dishes but adapted to summer, cold dishes, tropical fruits, lighter meals because nobody wants heavy food in extreme heat. In South Africa, December 25th is also a summer celebration. Christmas is often celebrated outdoors with families organizing meals outside, barbecues called braai, and picnics. They integrate elements inherited from European culture, like decorated trees and Christmas carols, but everything happens in blazing sunshine. Christmas remains a major public holiday, marked by family gatherings, shared food, and sometimes morning religious services. But the atmosphere is completely different from snowy European or North American Christmas. No fireplaces, no hot chocolate, no snow. Instead, swimming pools, beaches, and outdoor grilling. These summer celebrations remind us that Christmas adapts to every climate and culture. There's no single authentic way to celebrate. The spirit of gathering, family, and celebration transcends weather and geography. For Southern Hemisphere Christians, Santa Claus in a heavy red suit makes absolutely no sense. Some depict him in summer clothes or arriving on a surfboard. Christmas at the beach proves the holiday is fundamentally about people and community, not specific weather or decorations. Whether in snow or sunshine, the heart of Christmas remains the same: coming together. Summer Christmas, where tradition meets tropical reality. Now let's explore how Christmas became a global commercial phenomenon, even in places where Christianity is a minority. In several East Asian countries, Christmas has become primarily a commercial and urban festival. In Japan, for example, December 25th is not a religious holiday, but you'd never know it. Store windows display spectacular lighting, strawberry cakes become seasonal markers, and specific meals like fried chicken have become Christmas traditions. In the 1970s, KFC ran a brilliant marketing campaign called Kurisumasu Niwa Kentucky, Kentucky for Christmas, which successfully convinced Japanese people that eating fried chicken was a traditional Christmas meal. Now millions of Japanese families order KFC for Christmas, sometimes reserving weeks in advance. It's completely made up, but it became real through marketing. Christmas Eve in Japan is often more associated with romantic dates than family celebration. Young couples exchange gifts, go to fancy restaurants, and see illuminated displays together. In Singapore, a multicultural major city, commercial streets like Orchard Road are adorned with light decorations and Christmas windows for several weeks. Residents see it more as a global festive season than a strictly Christian celebration, mixing shopping, entertainment, and Santa Claus images across a population of very diverse religions. This transformation reveals something fascinating about modern Christmas. It can exist completely separate from its religious origins. In Japan, most people celebrating Christmas aren't Christian and don't know the nativity story. They're celebrating an idea of Christmas created by commerce and media. Some see this as the ultimate commercialization and loss of meaning. Others see it as Christmas evolving into a universal celebration of joy, light, and giving that transcends religious boundaries. Either way, Asian Christmas proves the holiday has become a global cultural phenomenon, bigger than any single religion. Commercial Christmas, where marketing created new traditions. Finally, we come to the most powerful and heartbreaking Christmas story: how the most vulnerable people in society found meaning and hope during Christmas. In the colonies and early United States of the 18th and 19th centuries, Christmas wasn't just a celebration for wealthy families. It was also a rare moment of possibility for those at the bottom. Historical sources describe, for example, an enslaved African American newspaper delivery man in 18th century Boston who gradually accumulated a small amount of money through Christmas tips from his customers. This was enough for him to draft a will in favor of his children. For him, the Christmas season became a rare opportunity for recognition and resources in a deeply unequal system. Think about that. A man who legally owned nothing, who was considered property himself, used Christmas generosity to create something for his children's future. Christmas tips weren't just kindness, they were survival. These small acts of giving during Christmas represented hope in a hopeless situation. At the same time, some cities experienced turbulent forms of celebration. Groups of masked people or mummers demanded food or money in exchange for improvised performances, sometimes to the great annoyance of elites. Christmas appeared as a moment when social hierarchies were briefly disrupted. The excluded obtained a little money, food, or symbolic power, while the powerful endured insistent songs and demands. For one day, the powerless had leverage. They could knock on doors demanding gifts, and social customs obligated the wealthy to give. It was a brief reversal of normal power structures. This tradition of Christmas demands by the poor made wealthy people uncomfortable. They wanted a quiet, controlled Christmas, not crowds of poor people demanding their share. Over time, these practices were suppressed and replaced with more controlled charity, organized gift-giving, church donations, controlled philanthropy, but the memory remains. Christmas was once a time when society's rules loosened, when the poor could demand rather than just receive charity, when hierarchies were questioned rather than reinforced. Modern Christmas has largely lost this radical edge, becoming more about family and consumption than social justice. Yet the story of the enslaved man saving Christmas tips to help his children reminds us that Christmas has always meant different things to different people. For the powerful, it's celebration and tradition. For the vulnerable, it was survival and hope, the forgotten Christmas, where the powerless found power. So there you have it. From enemies singing together on a World War I battlefield to Washington's desperate gamble on an icy river, from summer beach celebrations to commercial Asian Christmas, and finally to how the most vulnerable found hope during the darkest times. These stories prove Christmas is far more complex and meaningful than we usually acknowledge. These aren't just historical curiosities. They're reminders that Christmas reflects humanity in all its complexity. Our capacity for peace and war, desperation and hope, commercialism and genuine connection, power and vulnerability. Every Christmas carries echoes of all these stories. If these stories moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe and share this video. Tell me in the comments, which story touched you most? How does your family celebrate Christmas? Do you have emotional Christmas memories to share? And if you missed part 1 about the hidden origins of Christmas, watch it now. The history of holidays reveals the history of humanity itself. See you very soon for more powerful stories. Merry Christmas and happy holidays to everyone. Bye.